Hello again, Reverend here, and I'm going to be talking about hammering on and pulling off with ample sound acoustic guitars. I have here the intro to Uriah Heep's The Wizard. Let's just give that a listen and then talk about how it was achieved. Okay, there are two ways to trigger hammering on and pulling off, and the first way is automatic, and the range is 4 frets from the capo position. So in this case, since we don't have a capo on the guitar, it's going to be 4 frets from position 0. Keyboard mode must be off, and that's this little indicator light here must be off, and that's found in the center of the main display. And there must be a legato instruction to the software. In other words, the notes you want to hammer on or pull off must overlap. Here's an example A, where the notes do not overlap. We will get no hammering on or pulling off there because there's no overlap. In this example B, A2 overlaps with B2, and so we will get a hammer on. In example C, we will have a hammer on and a pull off because the duration of A2 exceeds the duration of B2. And those are the rules that have to be in place for the auto method to work. If you have a slur or hammer on or pull off that's outside the 4 fret range, you can force it with the key switch F0. And here's an example. If you wanted to hammer on from C3 on the second string to E3 also on the second string, the auto method won't work because they're more than 4 frets apart. You'll simply get 2 plucked notes. But if you use key switch F0, you can force it to occur. Once again, keyboard mode must be off. The notes you want to hammer on or pull off must overlap, and you must have a key switch F0 down here. So this one will result in no hammering and no pulling. This one will give us a hammer on. This one will hammer on and pull off. All right, let's go back to the song. Down here, you will see a C0. We'll look at that in the piano roll view in a second. But that's a C0, which is the sustain mode, and I put that in just to make sure that I'm not stuck in a mode that's been indicated further down the file. I want to make sure the file starts correctly. And way up at the top, I have C#6, which toggles the strummer mode on and off. In this case, off, because we're going to play single notes here, arpeggio. And here is the first pull off, and here is the first hammer on. And notice the little overlap there, that's the legato instruction, and the little overlap here. Without those, nothing would happen. We wouldn't get the hammering on or the pulling off. Down here, I've used the F0 to indicate hammering on, and switched it back to sustain mode once I've finished. Once again here, I turn it on, switch it back to sustain mode again there. At the end of the first iteration, I've got a little key switch here, which is the C#6 again, and this time, I'm going to go into the file. Here it is at the beginning of the file with a low velocity to turn the strummer mode off. And then further along here, you can see from the color in Cubase that it has a velocity of 120. So I'm turning the strummer on. And once the strummer is on, I'm going to strike this chord. And the chord is already prepared in the strummer. It's a big open D. And you'll see up at the top here, when I mouse over the chord, you'll see the velocity up there. There it is, velocity 90. And I put this in by, first of all, clearing all notes, and then drawing it in, and as I drag, I can change the velocity. So there it is again. And I also added this open drop D. And the drop D is achieved by clicking and dragging on the tuning head, and you can see I've got a pitch of -2. I'm down to D1. So here's the chord waiting for me, or waiting for the instruction to be played. And here is the instruction to turn the strummer mode on. There it is, turn the strummer mode on, strike the chord, and then go back. Notice that velocity here is 45, and then go back to the off mode. Strummer is off again. And just to make sure everything's going to perform properly, I put another C0 in here. So let's listen to that one more time. Okay, that demonstrates method 2, which is putting key switches in because the notes fall outside the 4-fret range. But you've noticed, I'm sure, that these notes are not outside the 4-fret range. So these key switches are only for demonstration purposes. Further up here, I have a file that's showing how you don't need them. This file will play exactly the same because these notes are within the 4-fret range. The simple auto mode is good enough. There's one other enhancement in this file. I'm going to point your attention to this little set of notes here. Right, here they are at the end. To make this chord strike just a whole lot more exciting than the first one, a pop has been used. And the pop is when the strings are given a value of 127, they will pop. And that's an upstroke such that the strings slap back down on the frets. And this one's just a whole lot more exciting. So with that, I'm going to leave you on behalf of Ample Sound. Thanks for listening.